Well, I don't think I'm over what happened in the Champions League semi-final. I don't know how Real Madrid pulled that off. I'm still in massive shock. Like I thought, that match against Chelsea, that would have been it as far as epic comebacks go. But thank you very much, Real Madrid, for proving me wrong. And I think we have one very important question to ask. Was that the greatest comeback match ever?
Probably one of the greatest comebacks ever. If you have to say, I think so. Real Madrid, I have to say, Shane, the way they made that comeback against PSG, then Chelsea last round, and then wow, City. I know Pep Guardiola somewhere. He doesn't have any hair, otherwise he would have lost whatever little he would have had on his head. So,
Absolutely.
So that's definitely there. But if you guys are wondering where are we, by the way, Shane and I have come to the Amazons. Doesn't it look like that?
It sure feels like it. That's all I can say.
No, actually, we are sitting in our studio only. Somewhere in our studio.
Yes, in a little secret location in the office that very few people have shockingly found, which is a great place, as you can see. I'm sure you must be thinking
Actually,
that
they know because we did our IPL auctions from here only. Anyway, but let's not forget what we are here to talk about. Shane, in terms of the greatest comebacks ever, this definitely ranks among top 10 for sure, but maybe top 5?
I mean, it's definitely up there in the top 10, top 5. I mean, let's see, there are plenty of matches I can think about which,
Come on, give
have
me,
historic-
let's discuss
Okay,
these.
If you're talking off the top of my head, most recent memory, Liverpool versus Barcelona.
Oh,
Nothing
wow.
beats that. From 3-0 up in the first leg, Barcelona ended up losing 4-0 at Anfield. and
I will never forget that Trent Alexander-Arnold
Corner,
corner,
oh
okay,
my God.
which he took quickly. Barcelona had no clue about it, okay, and Divock Origi.
Liverpool legend.
a substitute who's become a legendary substitute for them.
Absolutely, an absolute king of a super sub, that man.
Yeah.
And he absolutely solidified his legacy that night. Like he could have left after that Champions League, he'd still be up there in the annals of Liverpool legends. Such was the impact. But and that line of commentary, corner taken quickly, Origi. That's it.
Origi.
That is your moment.
Wow,
right
that,
there.
that was some comeback, okay, and Liverpool went on to win the title.
Yes.
So 2018-19, this was the semis if I'm not wrong. And Barcelona, after winning the first leg 3-0, everybody thought
That's
game
it.
done
Game
and dusted.
over.
But Liverpool, how they won, it was just fantastic.
And bear in mind, this was also in an era when away goals were a thing. So
Yes.
4-0 up. If if Barca had to get even one goal,
Yeah,
that's it. Tie was there.
It would have been done and dusted for Liverpool. But well, the rest is history, as they say.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing comeback. Another game that I can recall is the Roma versus Barcelona.
The season before.
quarterfinal, the season right
The season
before.
before incident. And by the way, I think if we're talking about this, and we'll go on to talk about this, but Barcelona's name will come up way more than once.
Yeah.
And it depends good and bad. So if you're a Barcelona fan and if you think we're being unfair to you guys, wait up, we will discuss the good matches as well. But yes, Roma versus, Barcelona. Again, similar situation. They were up, Barcelona were up in the first tie. And everyone thought, yeah, okay, first leg, that's done and dusted. But the miracle
3-0. Roma won 3-0 in the second leg. And well, and the way they won it. I
Greek god.
thought
Remember that commentary?
Barcelona could not understand what they were doing wrong because they lost in the quarterfinal like that. Next season, they lost in the semi-final like
You
that.
know what is the common thread among both those wins, by the way? The goalkeeper in the opposition team, Alisson. He was in Roma at that point, joined Liverpool the next year, and
Oh,
both
wow.
years he was part of a team.
That's actually great trivia. but for me, one of the best comebacks ever was made by Barcelona themselves, and that was against Paris Saint-Germain. If you guys remember the first leg, Barcelona lost 4-0. Okay, Paris, everybody thought we were talking about 3-0 and all. Barcelona, after that first leg, were down 4-0.
Yeah.
What happened in the second leg, Shane?
La Remontada.
La
Sergio
Remontada.
Roberto with that last minute winner, which just sent the Camp Nou into delirium. I mean, that was quite something, that match.
So,
And bear in mind, that was.
and I remember there was PK there were two other Barcelona players, and there was Sergio Roberto going towards that because somebody looped the ball over. I'm forgetting who
I think it
looped
was
the ball
Messi
over.
from a free kick.
No, not from a free kick. It was normal play. Somebody looped the ball over. Sergio Roberto somehow just got past everybody
that
else
flying
and
finish.
that finish with his,
Oh my
with his
God.
foot. Boss, I think so. If I'm not wrong, Barcelona scored 3 goals after the 88th minute mark.
Correct. That's
So-
what made that comeback so special.
6-1. 6-1 victory, and why it's called La Remontada? Remontada.
Tada, yeah.
Tada. Can you do it?
La
first?
remontada.
La Remontada. Shane, our Spanish expert here. La Remontada. So the thing with that is, what it means in Spanish is the comeback. That is why it's called this particular term. And well, for me, one of the best comebacks ever. I never liked Barcelona as a United fan because they defeated us in 2 finals in the Champions League, 2009 and then 2011. But you have to say that
MSN team was something special. They really were. The Messi, Suarez, Neymar,
yeah.
that was something else. But of course, we did mention that, we said Real Madrid, this video entirely is based on the premise or the fact that Real Madrid pulled off a massive comeback. I mean, but it's not the first time they've actually done this.
They've
Lest
done
we
it-
forget.
done
They've
it so many
multiple
times.
It's part of their DNA, I think, at this point, to have these uncanny comebacks where everyone thinks the match is over. I mean, lest we forget, if we're talking about yesterday's match, there's a video of this which has gone pretty viral, by the way, where there were Real Madrid fans who in the 89 minutes just walked out. They thought, okay, the tie is done, nothing's happening, and then out of nowhere, Rodrigo scores. They get the news and they're running back to the stadium.
wow.
That was quite something.
Wow. So, yeah, you have left the stadium thinking your team is down, dusted, everything, okay, finished, going out of the UCL and everything has happened. And then suddenly you hear this shout, okay, coming from the stadium. Suddenly you're like, what happened?
And you're
Then you
running
check it on the
back.
phone. And then you're like, oh my God, I have to go back because they are winning now.
And see, that's why we always say, guys, in matches this big, it's not over until it's over. I mean, they scored 2 goals in injury time. Rodrigo scored 2 goals in injury time. I mean,
City did not know what hit them, by the way.
they did not know what hit them.
Because they really thought that they have got the win, everything is
They had a
done.
2-goal lead. What more do you need in injury time?
Wow.
But wow. But again, as we said, this is not the only time. I mean, lest we forget, similar thing happened in the 2014 final
Yes,
against their arch rivals Atletico Madrid.
Against City rivals Atletico Madrid. And let's not forget, it was again, if I'm not wrong, Atletico were winning 1-0. Okay, till Sergio Ramos scored a header in the injury time to level things up, to take it to
What a
extra
goal
time.
that was.
And then
Gareth Bale got
Gareth Bale and then Ronaldo
as
scored
well.
penalty, I
Yes.
guess, if I'm not wrong. I remember him removing his jersey off and then showing full his muscles and everything.
Full flex.
Wow, that was something for sure.
Yeah. In fact, if we're talking about that, again, lest we forget Ronaldo. I think that match, that goal had little to no impact because I think once Ramos scored, once Ramos scored that, and once Bale scored, Atletico were out of it.
But they won 4-1. They won 4-1.
No, but I think one game if we were talking about where Ronaldo did have an impact. Wolfsburg.
I know. So you remember this was the quarterfinal, if I'm not wrong. They had lost 2-0
in the first leg. Yes.
In the first leg, and wow! After that, you remember every time we talk about why Ronaldo is the king of comebacks as well, because Ronaldo scored a hat trick in the second leg, won the game 3-0 for Real Madrid, and well, they went on to win the league, if I'm not wrong.
They did go on
The Champions League, yeah.
So the thing is, and that's the thing what I always say with Real Madrid. I remember when you were telling me against when they were facing City, that City had the better team on paper. One thing with Real Madrid, and I have to point this out, they're 13-time champions.
Wow.
I don't know, because they're 13-time champions, I think they have that belief that if we take it, if we take it till the end, if we keep pushing, if we don't stop believing, that a miracle can happen. They have that belief. And whilst people might talk about, Benzema scoring a winner in injury time, you cannot deny the fact that in both of these major comebacks, there's been 2 key younger players who had an impact. Eduardo Camavinga and of course Rodrigo.
The moment Camavinga came on, he looked like a different
changed the game.
Also changed the game. Also the way he was trying to attack, he was the one running with the ball, and that is what was missing for them because they were very sort of subdued. Okay, and you thought City have gone on
Exactly.
won the tie.
That was done.
You saw the Grealish chance also. That ball missed by Whisker. Then Courtois pulling off some saves. Let's not forget Courtois actually did manage some great saves,
Oh, absolutely.
even in the dying minutes. So I think you have to give credit to the spirit of Real Madrid. They just don't give up.
And the thing is, we talk about, okay, that core which won what, 4 Champions Leagues out of 5 years. But they're passing that spirit on because, again, Rodrigo was not part of that, era. He was signed in 2019. Vinicius Jr., also a relatively new player in this entire system. Kamavinga was signed last summer. These players are being so, they are so important.
Yeah.
That spirit is passing on.
Also, Ancelotti, everybody thought, what
was
can
finished.
he do?
He was finished. Everyone
Managing Everton at the end of last
Exactly.
season. Suddenly gets a call from Real Madrid and says, okay, mate, I am coming to Madrid.
I mean, that's what you call failing upwards because his spell at Everton was a bit of a disaster.
No, but I still think he made that club better and they were at least not in the relegation zone.
That is true.
That is true, right? Because Everton are right now struggling. But you have to give credit to Ancelotti, never gave up. And I thought his players did not give up. And you talked about how every time Real Madrid needed somebody to step up and the way they stood up is amazing. But let's not forget, now it's the final and already Mohamed Salah has fired some
looking forward.
salvos.
Yes,
He
yes.
says he remembers how they've lost the final, okay, to Real Madrid before.
It's a real shame Sergio Ramos isn't part of that team.
Yeah,
right
and he
now.
really wanted the hand. The hand. You remember there's a meme that went viral where Sergio Ramos is holding his hand or something like that. It was very, very famous. But I'm saying now I'm expecting another cracking finale because Real Madrid, I did not rate them very highly in the semis
no
because
one
I
did.
thought
That's the
City are definitely going to win. But every time you felt they're going to go out, they have always managed to come back. Against PSG, by the way, they were a half away from being knocked out.
Correct.
There also PSG had a 2-goal lead, by the way, in the aggregate.
And then out of nowhere.
And out of nowhere, Benzema scored a hat-trick. 3 goals then you saw against Chelsea.
They were losing.
They
The
were
match
losing.
was finished. They just needed one goal, one moment of brilliance from Modric. Rodrigo finishes.
One of the best passes I've
that's
seen
it.
in my life. So
Game
that was,
changed.
that was
Game
amazing.
changed.
So that was there. But now it's the final. After we know we have talked about City, I'm going to talk about 2 finals especially. And I hope this final between Liverpool and Real Madrid can live up to those billings of the greatest, probably the greatest finals in Champions League history.
And both in featuring comebacks.
And
If I can put it to your...
both featuring comebacks because if you guys remember, there's now Liverpool involved again. Liverpool against
AC Milan.
2004-5 final.
Yes.
AC Milan took a 3-0 lead at half-time. I saw Hernan Crespo scored 2 goals.
Yes,
And
he
I know Maldini also scored a goal.
Yeah, and
the first goal, I guess.
So, funny story about that here. Hernan Crespo, the only reason he was at AC Milan was because he was at Chelsea. He was on loan from Chelsea at that point. He was on loan only for one simple reason. Jose Mourinho didn't like the fact that one day he turned up late for training. So he shipped him out on loan. That's the only reason he was there.
Interesting. But then what happened? In the second half, by the way, I think those Steven Gerrard, Smicer and Xabi Alonso scored the goals. 3 goals in 7 minutes, if I'm not wrong. And for me, because luck changed when you saw Xabi Alonso missed a penalty kick, okay?
Correct.
The keeper made the save, but Xabi Alonso got the goal through the rebound. And the rest is history. The game went to extra time.
Ironically, we're talking about Carlo Ancelotti, who was the manager of Milan at that point in time. Ancelotti. But that's the thing. That
Jersey Dudek, I think so, made so many saves. I think so.
And then penalties hero as well.
He made a couple of very crucial saves in injury time also, if I'm not wrong. With Andrei Shevchenko almost coming very close to scoring that goal.
So I have a personal anecdote about this match, okay? Because I support neither team. But I remember watching that match with my dad, okay? And we were watching it, it's again late night, summer holidays, I was still in school. And we were watching, it's 3-0 after halftime. We're like, yeah, this match is over, what's the point? We switched it off.
It was.
And then next morning, I'm seeing the paper, I'm like, why is Steven Gerrard holding the trophy? What happened here? Then bear in mind,
so the same thing happened with you, like it happened with Real Madrid fans last night. You're like, oh my god,
it's over.
It got over. Yeah, done and dusted. Suddenly next day in the paper, oh my god.
And bear in mind, this is in an era before YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god, I had to wait years to actually fully relive that match, and I'm like, I can't believe I missed watching this. But again, such was the momentum at that point. You thought AC Milan are cruising 3-0 going into halftime. Who comes back from that? Apparently Liverpool.
Liverpool did, and they went on to win the title. And how they won it, because Jersey Dudek made some exceptional saves. For me, he was also a star player for them. The Polish keeper.
Yes.
Okay, so Dudek done. Now let's talk about another game because this one's close
This
to my
one's close
heart.
to your heart.
Because I started watching United this particular season, and that was the 99 season when they won the treble, and how they made that comeback in the Champions League final against Bayern Munich. That's also special.
Yeah.
One goal, and then suddenly you see two goals out of nowhere for United with one of our former manager
Ole
and
Gunnar
our
Solskjaer,
super sub.
yes.
You know,
The ultimate super sub. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that game, both goals came from corners and both were David Beckham corners.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, yes. And the thing is, there was no Scholes, no Keane because
Both one was injured and one was suspended.
And
yeah, Keane
so-
I think he picked up a second yellow
Yeah.
during the Juventus
and
semi.
yet United won. Juventus they defeated in the semis. So
He scored a goal and then ended up getting a booking. I remember that.
I just love the fact that football allows you to give allows you to enjoy such
Moments
comebacks,
like that, yeah,
such
absolutely.
moments, and
Absolutely.
you'd think one moment there's ecstasy for Pep Guardiola because he's thinking he's there in the final again, probably can win the English Premier League, can win the Champions League, and then boom,
I think for me,
two
also-
goals. Rodrigo, of all people, who scored that vital goal against Chelsea
As
also
well,
by the way,
yes,
to
yes.
level things up, so that the game could go to extra time. I'm just amazed. I feel
This guy's got some serious potential.
serious
Rodrigo.
potential. Also, like the way two goals he scored in no time at all, and the way I really can't put into words because I was watching the game and somehow, even though I wasn't part of the live that Siddharth did last night, I was mesmerized. I
Yeah.
was just
I think
amazed.
also comebacks which people don't talk about enough, and I will say this in a very biased way. Chelsea 2012.
Yes.
Chelsea 2012. I mean, that was an aging team that was set up to counter-attack in the final.
Always counter attack.
There was only counter-attacking. Was you had 34-year-old Lampard, 34-year-old Drogba,
Drogba.
33-year-old John Terry. You're not playing tiki-taka football fast-paced. You're playing football to win in any ways necessary. They had that plan, stifled Bayern at the Allianz Arena, mind you.
Yeah, that's
till
true.
the
At their
80th
home.
minute.
At
Yes,
their home.
till the 80th minute. Then Muller scores that goal. You're thinking that's it, done. In fact, there's a very interesting story about that also. Is that Drogba told her in some podcast. Okay, so they were going up. They won that corner. There's two stories about that. One was that they went up for that corner, and David Luiz told Bastian Schweinsteiger, "We're going to score now."
Oh.
Yeah, that corner. And then what was even better was Drogba at that point was giving up hope. He knew it was going to be his last season with Chelsea. They're down 1-0 in the 89th minute. And he got one Mata go and take the corner. And he was just like, Drogba was at the point of being distraught. He said, I was done. I can't do this, etc. He's saying this to the players. One Mata says, Maestro, you have to win us this match. And then he put in that that one cross from the corner. And by the way, there's another story. Lampard almost attacked the corner before Drogba did. He left it at the last minute because he saw Drogba coming, and that's the reason the bullet header went. Yeah?
Also Drogba was.
Yeah, but he could have been a villain in that match as well.
Yeah,
He gave away a penalty in.
I know.
Extra time.
But for me, I think so. Drogba was also one of those players that, as a United fan, even though he was
He did damage you guys a fair bit.
he was,
But not as much as Arsenal.
But I am saying he was a great player. There are certain players like even Thierry Henry for Arsenal. You look at them and even though they're in the opposite camp, you look at them and say, "Boss,
Mad player.
amazing players, right?"
And the thing with Drogba was, he was always the man for the big occasions. Always. His record in Wembley is mad. I think he scored in every cup final he played there.
Wow.
Which is really saying something.
That does say something. But Shane, come on. We talked about the biggest comebacks and how Real Madrid also have made that in the past. But among all the ones that we discussed, which one's your favorite?
So I think if we're talking from a purely unbiased neutral
Yeah, unbiased.
perspective-
I don't want you to say Chelsea.
Unbiased neutral perspective, I think for me this match really, maybe recency bias is coming into play here, but I haven't seen any team be down 2 goals in a tie and then come back and win it in that fashion.
I think so because it was a final that 3-all would be somewhere
it's a good
there.
shout.
But for me, I think so. Yes, Barcelona beat PSG 6-1, and that would probably be a lot of people's favorite. And I'm gonna but I'm saying even as a United fan, I would still say that I don't know why that Liverpool victory against Barcelona in the semis.
Oh yeah,
I think that for me rates like that was a special game. As a neutral point of view, even though Liverpool won it and all, I actually detest both clubs equally, Liverpool, Barcelona. So
no love lost for either.
yeah,
of them.
but for me, because of that mindset, I think that nobody talks about that Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner enough.
Fun stat about Trent. He's now 23. He's already going to be playing in 3 Champions League finals.
Yeah, wow.
And he was instrumental in helping them reach.
He has played more than 150 games for Liverpool already. He's 22 if I'm not wrong, not 23. He's 22, baby. Wow, that's amazing.
amazing.
Anyway, let us know what you guys make of this video.
Please let us know what your favorite match was.
Yes, and what's your favorite? I think there are going to be a few that will say
Oh,
Real
there's going to be
Madrid.
some disagreements in this one
And
for sure.
you might disagree with us as well, but you see, we are also fans and we have our own biases. Similarly, you will have your own biases. So please do let us know because we do read them and we do discuss them among ourselves. So thank you for watching and please like, share, subscribe to Sports Today.
Thank you.